So going back to your story of growing up in the trailer park, were you a bit of a hustler back in the day?
Yeah, so I tell you, my first business was cutting grass. So I started knocking doors. Dude, I ended up getting like 5-6 lawns pretty quick. And my buddies noticed I wasn't showing up and they saw I was making money. So they want to be a part of the business. So I'm like, flip a weed eater to one, and one's going to pick up trash. My overhead got too high, went out of business. So
I suppose that taught you a lot of lessons about starting a business. What was your kind of next steps?
Well, I was going to say, then you went into construction from what I see, but how did you become a big gun?
I shut my mouth and I found mentors. I think the best thing a young man could ever do is go seek out somebody that's 30 years ahead of him for 2 reasons. Number one, and I think the most important reason, is choosing the right vehicle. I got that wrong in my opinion. I think that if I'd have picked a different business model, if I'd have put the same time, attention, and effort into a different model, because let's face it, construction is a rough, stressful, hard industry. It is brutal.
I actually say a similar thing, don't I? If I'd have put the amount of effort I put into my businesses into a different area,
Well, I've said that
could
to
be
you. Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can take the same entrepreneur, same skill set, same talent, same drive, put one in vehicle A and one in vehicle B. This one looks like Steve Jobs. This one is bankrupt.
Yeah.
No, I truly believe that. Picking the vehicle is, I think, one of the most important things you can do before you start to use that energy capital, especially when you're a young man. You have that unicorn blood, right?
I went with passion, which was probably the wrong way, to
Yes,
be honest.
I agree.
But I've beat a living out of it and done okay. But
It's a
obviously,
long grind.
It's a long grind. But at least you chose not necessarily a passion, I would say, putting up steel buildings.
No, sir, it wasn't a passion. It was what was in my consciousness. That's what I knew to do. I always joke, it's like the only way we knew how to make doctor money was in boots. You know,
Did you find passion in it though? Like you said, you wasn't passionate about it
you can
initially.
get passionate about anything that's making money.
Yeah.
You know, your wrist never hurts when your jumper's on, right? I think what it really happens is that you find where you can be passionate about something. I believe that business is by and largely a formula. You take out X and you put in Y. You know, I believe I could start plumbing coming tomorrow and be successful. I'm nowhere near a plumber, but I know damn good and well I could run a business as a subcontractor in any trade, because it's basically the same stuff. It's dealing with the men, it's the logistics, it's the contracts, it's having camaraderie with the men and knowing that you need to take them for a beer. It's the showing up on a job site and start saying, hey bro, y'all are killing this and I appreciate it because it's hot right now, and start putting $100 bills in their tool belts. We keep up with our main guys' wives' birthdays. We send them to get their nails done. If you're not cool with that woman and you want her husband to go on the road for 3 months, you better have her in your corner. And so you better show her in love and acknowledge what she's going through with her husband being gone on the road for 3 months. You know, it's like those types of things that you end up learning in that process of growing that business. Because if you don't have her as an ally, another thing that we're doing together that I think is very, very impactful is the real world. The real world is $49 to not sit in front of a professor that's never owned a business, to learn directly from a gentleman that owns a business that is doing it right now today. And everybody in that room is right now today doing that business, helping you solve problems. The good thing about the real world is you're getting real answers in real time for real money. There is no report card, there's a paycheck. The real world is the best school in the world, in my opinion. And the reason is you could go to Harvard and go get in 6 figures of debt, or you could pay $49 a month and learn from a guy that's making money literally right now. Where else in the world are you going to get it?
So do you think normal universities are a scam then? Because like you said, they're not learning from people that have actually done the business.
Well, I think that anybody that's not going to get a degree that's directly going to tell, like a doctor, a pharmacist, a lawyer, a nurse, I don't think going to get a criminal justice degree or an arts degree or some nonsense like that. And do I want to call it a scam? I think it's a good way to put people in debt and get people to stay in the system, particularly in a Western nation.
100%.
Yes, sir, I do. I think you could probably do open heart surgery off of YouTube at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Well, probably, yeah.
Or you could
I
join-
wouldn't want someone doing open heart surgery on you.
and I
on
wouldn't.
YouTube,
And
yeah.
so like, yeah, go to college, right? But these people that are getting these degrees, they're just doing it because it's the next step in their life. And I wish if I could go back, if the real world existed when I was coming out of high school and YouTube was as big as it was, and I had the information that maybe my parents aren't right, that maybe my teachers aren't right, I'd pay money right now to get that 4 years back. I really would. There are kids in the real world right now making more money than their parents. I got kids working for me that make more money than their parents. And it's all because what we're doing online together as a unit. And I couldn't be happier to do that.
So we talked about choosing the vehicle and the business, having the knowledge. How much do you think luck plays a part in the success of an entrepreneur?
I do think it plays a big part, but I also think what it is acquiring skill set and being ready for that luck to happen. A lot of people have luck pass right by them and they never get to cash in on
And
it.
they're the ones that say, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
You go,
Yeah,
hang
yeah.
on.
I
you
get
had that,
frustrated with that,
you had
yeah.
that opportunity last week and you blew right by it.
You have
son.
to take
Yeah,
the
and
shot
you didn't
to get
even
the luck.
see it.
Yeah.
You ever see Michael Jordan do a reverse reverse layup under the back. How many times do you think he's done that? You know what I'm saying? He knew just how to spin the ball, just where to go. He's done that a million times. His skill set got him close enough, and maybe it was a little lucky that maybe he got the role, but how many times has he put himself in that position? Part of me, even though I'm saying I picked the wrong model, I'm kind of glad that I went through that, because I think it made me the person I am, and the next wave is always coming. And so I'll be able to take that capital and the skill sets and maybe the maturity that you would bring into a business and be at a completely different place when that next huge opportunity comes. I'll have that with me, not because I caught a crypto pump, because I built a real business from dirt. I used to always joke, I was like, I'm asking God, why this business? Why? I want to quit so fucking bad. In fact, I quit, but then I'd go to work the next day, right? There's a huge power in staying in the same game, because it's almost like you're getting in a fight, right? You take a jab, oh man, boom, you take a jab again, cross now, and then you slip the jab, and then uppercut, whatever it is, right? But then if you quit that because you were getting beat up too much, and then you go fight a southpaw, you're gonna take all the licks in that industry, and then you're gonna have to rebuild all the connections. So I think there's something to be said about at some point saying, okay, after this, I'm staying here. I believe in this model. I'm gonna see this out through all the blood and all the scars and everything. I'm gonna come out on top. And then once you water that tree enough and it starts bearing fruit, then buy some crypto. Then, you know, do this other business or try this other thing or build a brand or all those other things. I wanted to build a brand for a long time, but I wouldn't let myself until I had M's in the bank.
So going back to picking that vehicle, I know a lot of the viewers will probably be thinking, what vehicle should I pick right now? What are some of the different areas that people could be focusing on that are probably going to explode within the next 10 years?
As far as the next 10 years, I mean, obviously AI and things are going to do, but to the vehicle itself, if I had it to do again, whatever I was putting my energy to, I'd want to get a return of investment of energy. So it would be some kind of residual model. In construction, it's like work, one kill, work, one kill. I would work, and make that kill pay me for a lifetime. Some sort of subscription-based model in some way. As we all know, real estate is the OG of the subscription model. If I had it to do again, I would definitely go real estate or just go real estate sooner.
Same here.
Yeah.
More real estate all the time.
Absolutely. So like just in the last 4 months, I've bought 147 doors. We've dropped 2M. I'm just getting rid of cash into real estate and doing cost segregation studies to reduce the taxable income, right? Probably one of my biggest fears in life right now is the guy that got rich once and didn't take care of business when he had the opportunity.
To make it once is one thing. To keep it makes you the legend.
Absolutely. I agree with that. It's people that endure over time. It's those people that have that sticking power and they really get their system and they build the right people and they train in people and build them up. Man, it's a never ending thing. Now, one thing I will say that I did do right to offset the fact that I might have chose a model that was not as lucrative or was not going to pay me forever for my work was I bought big properties, buying bigger because the business is spitting out more money. So if I'd have started buying single family houses, let's say at 25, maybe I could have built up 147 single family houses. So to offset that, I'm just buying in big chunks, putting big amounts of money. I'm trying to get rid of the money.
And you're using good debt to offset your taxes.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's the game.
It's a winner, isn't it?
The game is debt. There's a book called Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright. And I feel like it really repictures how to look at the IRS or look at government. They really just put out things to partner with you.
How about stocks? Do you invest in stocks?
I've been investing $500 a month since I was like 26.
Just what, into an index fund or something like that?
Yeah, I don't even look at it. I just get it auto drafts out my account.
And that should be the way it is.
Yeah.
Just off it goes. Always goes.
Yes, sir. I completely
Don't need
agree.
to look at it.
Because like ultimately it's kind of gambling. And there's more lies told in an Excel spreadsheet from companies than any other place in the world. And if I get a 5% return and hedge inflation, it's just an insurance policy.
I'd call it my safety net.
Yeah,
That's all it
absolutely. Like there's no way that I'm going to look at putting money into the stock market and think on any planet that I can't go start a business tomorrow and out earn it in a few months. There's no way, because I know what I can do and I don't even have control over those companies, right? That's a long-term play. It's an insurance fund. It's a safety net. 100%. I think it's something that young men should do immediately because of the way the interest compounds.
Absolutely.
The younger, the better. Even if it's $100 a month, I think somebody should do it.
How much money do you think you need to actually start investing in real estate?
I don't like to put a limit on telling a young man that they shouldn't start even with no money. What I truly believe for myself though is I wanted to get at least $250,000 I could spend, and then I got to the point where the business blew up, because then it turns into finding the deal, and I think finding the deal is actually the hardest part. I look at real estate as a long-term play because it's super not exciting.
Yeah,
you know, it's a
that's true.
long-term play.
I always say it's got to be a minimum 7 years plus if you're going
Absolutely.
to have real estate. Minimum.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree.
You get out
gotta
with
go
it
through a
before
cycle.
that, you're going to not make any money anyway.
Right. I completely agree. And then I don't even like the idea of selling so much, because then you have to recapture the depreciation. So all that depreciation you got, why do that? And then why pay the capital gains when you could just pull loan to value loans at 1% or something crazy and just live your life and then die? That's why they call it buy, borrow, die. Buy, borrow, die into a trust until your kids that are smart enough enough to build the legacy. The end.
Because we have disagreements on property, but the only reason we have disagreements on property is because obviously for the legacy, yeah, great, that's no problem. But for me to borrow really long term now at 55, I sort of don't want to do that on my personal
The thing is,
stuff.
I don't want to tie too much of my cash up when I could use it in a business. Like you said, like I have full control over that and I can make much more money rather than investing in real estate. But I understand the need to invest young, like you said as well, to build the properties. Whereas dad wants to put a lot of money down together, whereas I would rather leverage more. It's
Respectfully,
difficult.
I like this plan a bit better. And the reason why I like it a bit better is a lot of people start business and they try to go raise a bunch of money, but it kind of makes them wasteful and lazy. I like the idea of starting a business with almost no money and hustling the equity up and then securing apps. Like no matter what, you're fucking rich. You know what I'm saying? So I just shove money into real estate and be like, shit, I'm broke again. Let's go start some business. You know, let's go drum it up. And it's like this little trick you can play on yourself, right?
See, whereas recently I shoved all the money into hiring new people, new cameras, investing in that versus I probably spent over 100,000. I could have bought a property or something instead.
Right. Well, maybe you're set up now. Also, what's really important, I got asked this on a podcast recently, is like, how do you make your first 100? I said, don't worry about how to make the first 100. Worry about building the machine that spits you out 100 every month.
Yeah.
And so since you've done that now, you've built this machine that's going to keep paying you. You're going to keep doing these shows. You're having all these people come on. You have all this momentum. You're going to keep getting paid from that investment. But when you get that money, I say shove it into real estate for sure.
So that's the next step.
For
then.
sure. I like buy it, hold it, die, borrow against it, but die, and never recapture the depreciation. Take the cash flow, let it go to the moon, and just hold it. Right. Then you get to raise the rents. Then you get to do separate meters. Then you get to squeeze the profit out of that property that old man bought in '82, and he's just done. He doesn't want to manage it anymore. He hadn't raised the rents in 5 years. There's all this meat on the bone. All I'm trying to do when I'm buying a property from somebody that's older and tired, because we try to get pocket deals, like we look up properties and directly get in touch with them. I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't go to those kids in a trust. Fuck his kids. Fuck them.
You
It's
need
going
it
to
for
my
your kids, yeah.
That's right. And that lazy son of a bitch is sitting on a beach in Florida, and I'm over there in the trailer park walking and knocking on doors, making sure the toilet's flush. Fuck him. That's how I look at it.
Do you see business like a bit of a sport? Because like you're getting very competitive
Oh
about
man,
it.
no, you know what? I don't even know if it's like me against the other guys so much as it just lights me up inside. It's very rare. I don't ever compare myself to anybody else really.